So I want to go do a trip down memory lane, and it's an uncomfortable trip. So all of us have some sort of memory from our childhood where we did something, and I'll say in the schoolyard, and the other kids made fun of us for whatever we did. Maybe you tripped and fell. Maybe you got sick and vomited all over the place, something you had no control over, and you were mocked and ridiculed for it. But we all have that experience where others, young people, ridicule us and are, scarred and hurt by it. I would like you to frame that experience in a different way and just see that those kids, for whatever reason, were acting out in a certain way. And it was an attempt to try to control you, an attempt to control how you felt about yourself, just something kind of negative. And I would like you to step outside of that childhood experience that may be so damning and shaming and traumatizing to you. It was way back there. It was years ago, and obviously it didn't kill you. You survived. You didn't want to carry that with you. I mean, that's just being embarrassed and ashamed and being mocked when you're vulnerable is quite a normal experience. What you don't want is to live out life where people's mocking and ridicule and attempts to control you do constrain who you are, do control your choices and options, where you live in fear of what other people say. So, here I just want to say that, hey, making mistakes, that's how we learn. How do you think you figured out how to walk? You had to fall, crawl, all kinds of things. How do you think you figured out how to run? How do you figure out how to do anything? You don't acquire new skills if you're not just willing to try. And life is all about, oops, that wasn't quite right. Let me think about how am I going to do that differently next time and do it with, a joyful heart. You're alive enough to try new things. You have the courage to try new things. You've got the will and, the self-love. So making mistakes is how we learn. It just is. So get out there and try. May 26th. I have often tried to avoid repeating mistakes by making strict rules for my behavior. Although I can learn from experience, I can't plan for every situation that might happen in the future. Trying to do so only limits my options. When I get lost in such limited thinking, Al-Anon reminds me to keep an open mind. I'm glad it does because I am constantly changing. I continually need to let go of old ideas when they no longer work for me. If I don't get too attached one way or the other, I'm sorry, if I don't get too attached to any one way to approach life, I adjust to change with a lot less stress and strain. As I practice keeping an open mind, I tend to cross paths with people who are also inflexible in their thinking, and we who also are flexible in their thinking, and we help each other to see more clearly. As a friend says, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. Today's reminder: as I grow, I continue to learn and to unlearn, replacing old ideas with new ones and reclaiming others that had been cast aside. Today, I welcome this flow of information that will nourish and replenish me as I become more fully myself. Here's the quote. Oh, and it's from Helen Keller, of all people, that blind deaf woman. Here's the quote. To keep our faces toward change and behave like free spirits in the presence of fate is strength undefeatable. Well, there you have it. Courage in the face of immense challenge. Blessings on your day.